In the year 3025, humanity dared to go further than ever before. Their eyes turned toward K2-18b, a planet shrouded in storms, yet alive with the promise of discovery. At the heart of this mission floated the crown jewel of human engineering, the colossal spaceship Stellar Horizon, a massive white cruiser lined with glowing blue veins, radiant thrusters, and glass domes that shimmered like stars themselves. It was more than a ship. It was a moving city, a fortress in the void, carrying the hopes of an entire world. As the ship descended into orbit, the crew gazed through its panoramic domes. Beneath them churned oceans of storm clouds, glowing with the fire of endless lightning. From this vantage point, the planet looked alive, dangerous, but irresistibly beautiful. Inside, the astronauts moved through corridors lit in soft white and blue, their helmets reflecting polished walls and flickering holograms. Every step carried the weight of history. This was not a routine mission. This was humanity's first attempt to step into a world where life might exist. Landing on the surface was treacherous. Through sheets of rain and roaring winds, the crew touched down on glowing moss plains, their boots sinking into soil that pulsed with blue light as if the planet itself recognized their arrival. Around them rose towering crystalline trees, their translucent trunks humming faintly under the pressure of the storm. They pressed forward into the alien wilderness. Each flash of lightning revealed glimpses of ruins buried beneath vines, broken statues, shattered obelisks, remnants of a civilization long lost. The air was thick, heavy, alive with static. Communication crackled, equipment struggled, yet the explorers pushed on. It was in one of those ruins where disaster struck. While traversing a glowing moss clearing, the ground beneath an astronaut collapsed. In a split second, he fell into a sinkhole swallowed by darkness, his scream lost in the storm. The crew rushed forward, lights piercing the abyss, ropes lowered desperately, but only silence answered. On their visors, his beacon blinked weakly, then vanished. Above them, orbiting silently, the stellar horizon loomed, white armor gleaming, blue veins glowing against the thunderclouds. A fortress in the storm, but powerless to prevent what had happened below. The mission continued, now with grief etched on every face. Inside alien caves, dripping with shimmering minerals, the survivors pressed on. Strange glyphs pulsed faintly on the walls, as though awakened by their presence. The planet seemed to watch, to listen. Back aboard the ship, engineers fought turbulence as systems flickered. Blue-lit halls vibrated under the power of storms lashing against its shields. Yet through the chaos, the crew prepared their next step. To send a signal deep into the alien ruins, a message across time and distance, hoping to awaken a response. The storm outside grew relentless, yet inside the command deck of the Stellar Horizon, silence held heavier than thunder. The remaining astronauts stood around the central holographic table, its glow painting their helmets in blue. Their voices were hushed. Every movement seemed deliberate, as though each gesture carried the weight of the one who was no longer with them. Then the order came. Transmit the signal. Blue light flared from the ship's antenna arrays, streaking downward into the clouds. The colossal white cruiser, veins glowing like living arteries, pulsed as energy rippled outward in concentric waves. On the planet below, ruins hidden under vines and moss began to tremble. Crystalline pillars deep underground shimmered, faint at first, then stronger, glowing in sync with the rhythm of the signal. The astronauts held their breath. The ruins were not silent relics. They were listening. Inside a cavern, the crew's lamps illuminated alien glyphs carved into walls. At the moment the signal struck, the glyphs burst into blue flame-like light, casting the chamber in an otherworldly glow. The sound was not of stone cracking, but of resonance, as if the planet itself hummed in acknowledgement. Yet with every revelation came danger. The ground quaked violently, knocking explorers to their knees. Dust cascaded from the cave ceiling. Their radios screamed static, drowning voices. For a moment, it felt as though the world wanted them gone. Above, the stellar horizon strained against the storm. Lightning coiled around its hull, the blue veins glowing brighter, as though connected to the resonance below. Its massive thrusters fought to stabilize orbit, leaving trails of light that cut across the violent sky. The crew had little time. A decision was made. A probe must be launched into the heart of the storm. It would descend into the jungle canopy, beyond where human footsteps could reach, carrying with it sensors and transmitters to capture the essence of this alien world. Through panoramic domes, the astronauts watched as a glowing capsule detached from the belly of the ship. The probe's descent was a ballet of light and fury. Thunder tore across the sky, lightning lit its path, and the capsule plunged into the storm with unwavering resolve. As it disappeared into the canopy, its signal pulsed faintly, then stabilized, streaming back images of a subterranean world alive with bioluminescence and the unmistakable architecture of intelligence. For the crew, it was a victory laced with grief. They had seen wonders, glimpsed the signs of a civilization perhaps long extinguished, but they had also lost one of their own. In the med bay, helmets sat silently on polished white counters, visors reflecting the dim glow of blue monitors. A seat remained empty, a reminder of sacrifice. The decision to leave was not made lightly. From the panoramic windows of the command deck, the surviving astronauts looked down at K2-18b one final time. Storms coiled like serpents around its surface, but beneath that chaos lay mystery. A mystery now partly unveiled, but far from solved. Their mission was complete. Their comrade would remain forever part of this alien world. The colossal stellar horizon shifted course. Thrusters ignited, radiant blue jets tearing through the atmosphere as the cruiser ascended higher, breaking free of the storm's grip. From orbit, the planet seemed to shrink, yet its presence lingered in every heart aboard. The journey home was heavy with silence. In the ship's chapel-like observation dome, the crew gathered. Through the glass, endless stars stretched like rivers of light. They spoke not with words, but with silence, each remembering the friend they had lost, each understanding the price of discovery. Hours later, engines roared to life. The cruiser's interior vibrated as warp drives activated. Blue veins along its hull flared brilliantly, as if the ship itself inhaled before the leap. Outside, K2-18b glowed faintly in the distance, storm clouds flashing one final farewell. Then, in an instant, the stars stretched. The ship tore forward into the abyss, leaving the planet behind. Yet the story was far from over. As data streamed across consoles, one final transmission arrived from the probe, delayed, broken, but clear enough to ignite shivers across the command deck. The image showed a structure buried deep beneath the jungle. Vast, geometric, impossibly precise. Towers of crystal rising like frozen thunderbolts, glowing in perfect symmetry. And etched across their base was a pattern unmistakable to human eyes. A signal array, pointing outward, not inward. The implication was clear. K2-18b was not only alive once. It had spoken. It had reached for the stars before. The crew exchanged glances, their faces pale in the holographic light. They carried discovery. They carried tragedy. And they carried a message that humanity was no longer alone in its search. In the end, the stellar horizon did not return as it left. It returned scarred, changed, bearing the story of one world's fury and one man's sacrifice. Above all, it returned carrying proof that the universe was watching. The narrator's voice fades, leaving only the echo of storms and the hum of engines. On the edge of the unknown, we lost one of our own, but gained the knowledge that life's story is not ours alone. The stars are not silent. They remember. And now so do we.